Hi, thanks for asking about the part numbers on the 124 scale ECX Barrage magnetic body post mount build that I had posted to YouTube quite a while ago. So I'll go through the part numbers and where to get all the parts, all the magnets at least, for the project. The screws are readily available. It's about an $8 modification, maybe a little bit more if you include the cost of the glue, but you'll use that on other stuff. Anyway, so here's the build. Really simple. K&J Magnetics. It's kjmagnetics.com is your source for all the magnets. On the chassis, I used part number R422CS-S-N52. All these magnets are N52 strength magnet sets, extremely strong for their size. These are 1.4 pounds of magnetic force apiece, which seems to be fairly strong. I've used one on each corner. Again, these are quarter-inch thick, quarter-inch OD, eighth-inch thick countersunk magnets. N52, part number R422 CS-S-N52. They're set up for a number 2 screw, which is a 2.5 millimeter metric screw. You just use a 2.5 millimeter metric countersunk screw, machine threaded, and get 4 of those. You can pay a ridiculous amount for them individually at your hobby stores. I think A-Main's got a couple of kits that you can get that include these with them. Hobby screws. There's several other. You can get these from your local hobby store. Anyways, you get a set of those. You get 4 nylock nuts. You just want to make sure that the nylock is engaged against the thread so that it doesn't slip out. These are about 12 millimeters long. So you get a 12 millimeter long 2.5 metric screw, countersunk head, machine threaded, and 4 of the nylock nuts. And you just secure the screws through the magnets with the countersunk part of the magnet facing up so the screw receives in the countersink, and then you bolt them all together with the nylock nut. You can leave them loose enough so that they rotate and they don't leave any slack, so the body's securely mounted, but it's still able to flex a little bit. I think that's just a good idea because the body's really flexible. You don't put any glue on these at all. Because you might need to remove these, you might want to change the chassis, whatever. These are really easy to take on and off. So again, just 4 screws, 4 magnets, 4 nylock nuts. Now the body, I used part number D44N52. Again, D44N52. These are 4.15 pounds of magnetic force apiece. They're extremely strong for their size. They're quarter-inch diameter, quarter-inch thick magnets. If I did this project over again, and I will go back and modify it because luckily with the glue that I use, it's easy to go back and change this if you make a mistake, I'd use these on all 4 corners. Instead, what I did is on the back, I kind of started off a little weak with a set of the N422 CS-S-N52s. Again, these are the same magnets that I used on the chassis. They're only 1.43 magnetic pounds of force. They work, but I can shake them loose, and I don't really like that. I'm going to replace them. I'll just take a razor knife and cut this off. Because this glue is very pliable, I can just cut it off even after it's been hardened for weeks, and then glue some new magnets on there when I get the initiative to do that, but I just haven't had that much motivation yet. I've been kind of lazy. So anyways, long story short, D44N52s on all 4 corners is your best bet. Now to glue these things down, I used a Gorilla product. They're a 5-minute clear epoxy. I like the clear because I didn't want it to be yellow. I think it's polyurethane still, so I know that sometimes it's yellow, but I like the clear. Anyways, mix it 50-50, get all the air bubbles out, and then when you glue these magnets down, make sure that you coat the magnet in the epoxy. Whatever epoxy you use, this one has got a really good rubbery consistency when it's dry. That's why I like it, and it's really strong. That rubbery consistency that you coat over the magnets is going to help your friction on the receiving end for the chassis, so that when you lock that thing down, it's got less of a tendency to slip around. That rubber is just a little bit of a friction coating there that helps it stick. So rubber type texture helps it stick. So again, you want to do that. And then here's another tip. When you glue these magnets down, unless you want to do them one at a time, once you get your epoxy laid down and once you get your epoxy mixed up, I take some blue painter's tape and just take a little piece of that and stick it over the body hole. Then I lay the epoxy down and I take the magnet and stick it to squeeze it into the epoxy really good. Get it all the way down. And then, because for some reason I tend to buy a lot of magnets from K&J for all kinds of projects, I happen to have these ZD501s laying around, and I use them to basically tack the magnet to the body and hold it in a position while the glue is setting. Again, I had a piece of painter's tape over the body here so that the glue didn't come through too much, and that painter's tape released from that epoxy really good. And then I just cleaned up all the epoxy that was left over with this tub of towels. This tub of towels seems to clean frickin' everything. So any of the epoxy that I had left, I just used the tub of towels to clean that off once everything was dry. But again, blue painter's tape, epoxy, magnet. Then you take one of these ZD501s or something else, another magnet would work, as long as it's a good strong magnet. Stick it down there to help hold it all together, let it all dry, get really close to dry. When you take it apart, wipe it off, and your body is relatively clean. You use these holder magnets because when you stick these things in place on your body here, as they're setting, they're going to have a tendency to attract each other and come out of place, and it'll be very frustrating because you'll have to do it over and over and over again. If you do mess up your body, which I don't think you could with this, don't worry about it, because Horizon Hobbies has got these things in stock. They've got every part in stock for this truck there is. Anyway, so there's the part numbers. Again, quick rundown. K&J Magnetics, kjmagnetics.com. Part numbers on the chassis are R422CS-S-N52. These are quarter-inch thick, quarter-inch OD, eighth-inch thick, countersunk for number 2 screw, N52 strength magnets. One on each corner. There's 4 of those. There's 4 countersunk head, 2.5 millimeter screws, machine threaded with 4 nylock nuts to receive onto the screws, just enough to keep them secure and not torque the heck out of these things. And that replaces your body mounts entirely. You can throw them away and all the clips that came with it. Once all the glue is dried, then you get to do that. And then here pretty quick, I'll be making another set of magnetic body mounts for my Exotech Losi that's got a Exotech aluminum chassis and a brushless taser motor and a speed controller I got off of eBay and a 2S little battery and some cool shocks. This thing is so fast, it's ridiculous. It keeps breaking tie rods, so I had to get some more tie rods off of eBay. But that's a project for another day. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a lot of fun. Bye.